Sister Noreen, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Terry. Happy spring, everybody. Isn't it wonderful that we're seeing signs of spring? It's such a gift of the earth this time of year, and such an appropriate time to gather here together to consider an evening of meditation connected to the earth and the cosmos. This evening is an opportunity for us as Catholics and Christians and interfaith religions to start to look at how we are integrating our love for the earth, our care for creation in all that we do, and especially in our prayer and our meditation. As I was kind of putting some thoughts together for this evening, one of the wonderful synchronicities of this evening is that this year, and I don't know if it's ever happened before, not in my memory, Good Friday coincides with Earth Day. Have you heard that? Did you realize that? That is amazing to me. That is a moment that we really need to celebrate and take advantage of and to consider very carefully. Earth Day and Good Friday coming together. This is a symbol that speaks to that reality. The memories that we have, the traditions that we have of the Stations of the Cross on Good Friday, now we see it's coming together with a consideration of the care of our earth. What a wonderful gift of the universe that these events have come together in this way. One of the things that I discovered when I was doing my studies was that we are living in a time when new spiritual devotions and new spiritual disciplines are happening. We have the spiritual discipline of the Station of the Cross, but we also have new spiritual disciplines that are emerging that really are represented in what happens when people act on Earth Day. I was listening to people reflect on what it means for them to care for creation. They were telling me that they were totally devoted to their blue box. And I knew when they used the word of devoted that what they were talking about was a growing and deep devotion. They were talking about a sense of the spiritual nature of caring for Earth. To care for Earth is really a spiritual endeavor. It is a spiritual action. And today, our celebration of the ecological stations is also an opportunity to look at a very beloved tradition, but to look at it in a new way. How does the suffering of the earth come together with the suffering of Jesus? How do we hold the suffering earth with the compassion and the love and the heart of one who knows what it means to suffer? Jesus our Lord. The suffering of earth and the suffering of Jesus, calling us to look with a loving gaze on the realities of our time, not to move away from those realities, not to stick our head in the sand, but to look with a loving gaze. Isn't that part of the heart of meditation? We look with a loving gaze on reality. We open ourselves to that for all that it is within us and in the wider world, and we don't turn away. We call forth compassion. We call forth a response of love. I wanted to share with you a reflection on contemporary understanding of meditation. The Centerpoint Research Institute is doing wonderful studies on meditation. They're looking at meditation as a response that leads to personal and planetary healing. This you may have heard. Perhaps that's part of your practice, why you engage. Science is beginning to study the impact of meditation. And what it's interesting to appreciate, they're doing it from the perspective of the impact of meditation on the human brain. We know that the human brain is divided into two parts, our left side and our right side. That the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere have their unique roles and distinctions. The left hemisphere governs more analytical functions, such as language and skilled movement, and the right hemisphere governs the discrimination of shapes, the expression of emotion, the comprehension of figurative language. Now, what happens in meditation, a time of meditation, is fascinating. Because often we favor one side or the other of our brain. And you hear people say that, oh, I'm left brain, oh, I'm right brain. But what this can lead to is an experience of lateralization. It sounds like a funny term, but basically what it means is that there's a state of imbalance. What they are recording is that meditation restores a sense of balance. And this restoration of a sense of balance is very important because when we don't have that sense of balance, we can feel disconnected within ourselves. We can feel a sense of separation and a sense of isolation. But the gift of meditation is that it can restore a sense of oneness to us. It can restore a sense of connectedness. I find this very interesting. When I was reflecting on our analysis of what is going on in our world, we often hear we're in a time of environmental crisis or ecological crisis. But what I'd like to suggest to you is a slightly different perspective. I'd like to suggest to you that we are in a time of a very deep ecological conflict. Why do I use the word conflict? Why is that important? When we look at what is going on in our world, what we see is a struggle for life. We see a struggle of life between the human and other than human components of the earth community. As we struggle for life, so many animals that are going extinct struggle for life. Lakes and rivers struggle for life, to live healthily so that they can fulfill their purpose on earth. We are in a time of very serious ecological conflict, a time of division, a time of separateness. And so the gift of meditation, as we have heard, is a gift of restoring a sense of connectedness. We grow in that sense of connectedness within ourselves. We show that forth to the world. Meditation is one response to the ecological conflict of our time, and it is a very important response. Let's just take a minute now and just be present to ourselves. Meditation is a response to ecological conflict. Just sit with that for a moment.